A man lives in a remote location, forest and open land surrounding the property, few neighbors, the kind of isolation where awareness of who's nearby is actually reliable. One night, his dog began behaving unusually. He picked up his phone and recorded what the dog was already reacting to. Keep watching, because what happens next is insane.
I don't know if you can see this. This is really weird. Domino, what is that? What the hell is that? Hey! Hey everyone, so a few of you have asked me about an update regarding the video from the other night and the weird creature person thing I saw over here. Me and my dog Domino were sitting on the porch and he ran out to the corner of the yard, which is not unusual. He'll do that with a rabbit or a deer or whatever. We live out in the middle of nowhere. He's not much of a barking dog, so he went to the edge of his fence barrier. He's on a wireless fence and just stared. I looked over and I saw it from behind that swing set out of the woods. Walked over behind that truck, or to that truck, and went behind it into the woods. I don't know what it was. It was brownish red in person. We have a street light, so I figured it'd pick up better. Apologize for the quality. Apparently zooming in at night will make any phone's quality potato quality, but I haven't seen it since, and hopefully I won't, but I still don't know if it was a person or a thing. Whatever it was big, and it was in my yard, and I don't like that.
In the distance, a dark shape is moving across the open landscape. Phone footage at that range in the dark produces limited resolution. What's visible is the shape, its movement, its position as it crosses the terrain. He had no knowledge of anyone being out there. On isolated rural property, that claim carries more weight than it would in a populated area. There aren't people passing through who go unaccounted for. A person in that space would need a specific reason to be there. His dog registered something before the camera was raised, and what the camera shows is what the dog had already been responding to. One was detecting it before it was visible, the other recorded it once it was. What was moving across that land before the camera could confirm it? If you thought that was disturbing, brace yourself for this next clip. Sydney doesn't post often. She shared a series of videos from a family trip. They'd rented an Airbnb early while traveling for a wedding, arriving a few days before the ceremony. The property was unfamiliar in a specific way. They didn't know the building, didn't know its history, had no baseline for what sounds it normally made or how its spaces behaved. Every unfamiliar movement in a rented property is neutral until it isn't. Everything was routine until one evening, after a walk with the dog. She reached for her phone.
We're at the house right now. Me, my sister, my niece. We're renting out this Airbnb for a wedding this weekend, and we were just out walking my dog. And when we came in, we heard Jesus Christ.
Great!
She began recording as they came back inside. Midway up the stairs, the dog stopped and fixed its gaze on something out of frame. A beaded curtain nearby began moving. Sydney had seen it move before, and she acted on the available explanation. She went upstairs specifically to close a window, testing whether air movement was responsible. With the window shut, she came back down, but the balloons in the upstairs room shifted. Then, footsteps on the stairs, audible on the recording. She looked at the dog. It hadn't moved. Still at the same position, leash on the floor. Then the leash lifted, not a twitch, a deliberate upward movement that held before falling back. The footsteps weren't the dog, and the dog wasn't moving. Two things happened simultaneously that eliminate each other as explanations. Sydney sent the footage to the Airbnb host, who was surprised by what it showed. Viewers suggested she place the leash on the stairs again and record. She did.
So this is the leash. If this moves, I'm literally going to run. There she goes again. I don't think the leash is gonna move, but she's definitely sensing something. Every single day.
With the leash placed back on the staircase the following day, the dog reacted again, searching, oriented towards something not visible on camera. Sydney lifted the rug nearby and checked underneath. Nothing there. Then she noted what each recording had in common.
So I wanted to show you guys some footage of my dog with these stairs. So here's another clip that I got of her doing it, walk over and see her, and she was so locked in.
In every recording, the dog stopped at the same point on the stairs and refused to go higher. That position corresponded to the room beneath the staircase. She decided to investigate it directly.
So I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here. So I just found door back here. So I don't think that it's what's on the stairs. I think it's something that's underneath. So I tried to check, but the door is locked. Obviously it's an Airbnb, so they lock a lot of the doors up, but so yeah, I don't think that it's what's on the stairs like what I initially thought. I think it's what's below. I want to find out at this point.
As she recorded near the doorknob turned on its own. She contacted the Airbnb host. Was there another guest somewhere in the property?
This is the switch. Is this something that light is on right there?
No other guests. The doorknob continued to turn on multiple occasions while they watched. She placed her phone near the locked door and recorded again, leaving it there.
Okay, so I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb, and hold on, let me turn on the light. Okay, I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb asking, like, hey, is there someone else renting it out as well as us or what? Because there's a room under the stairs that we can't get into. It's locked, so I didn't know. And basically he was like, no, you guys are the only ones that are in the Airbnb right now, like booked out for the week. So, okay, kind of feel relieved in a way, because I think it would be really weird and kind of creepy if there were people staying there as well that we didn't know about. But yeah, he didn't seem worried at all about it, so.
The host came the following day to retrieve the phone from behind the locked door. Both of them were caught off guard by what the recording had captured. First, the phone appeared to be pulled, moving toward or under the door from the position it had been placed. Then its position shifted.
Scary. Okay. Every time we've knocked before, this doorknob would turn a little bit.
A second movement separate from the first, as though something was adjusting its hold. Then it fell down the stairs, traveling a significant distance from the door, not a small displacement. After that, the phone appeared to lift briefly off the floor before dropping again. A fourth event distinct from the fall. No visible person in any of it. No footsteps on the recording, no voices, no evidence of a presence except the phone's movement through a space no one was standing in. The final videos on Sydney's account are from the wedding, the reason for the trip, the reason for the Airbnb, the last ordinary thing documented from those days. Sydney and her family believe something is still behind that door. What has been in that room? And what did it want with her phone? A renovation company based in Puerto Rico posted this on their business Facebook page. The account belongs to an operating company with a professional reputation attached to what it shares. A different evidence category from a personal upload. 2 employees were at an abandoned property as part of their work. One of them felt something, not saw, felt before anything was visible.
Ahora vamos para este cuarto que llevo un rato escuchando cantazos y eso. Uy. Hay algo que está sonando por ahí, brother. Ojalá, ¿qué fue eso? ¡Compi! No, papá. No, chacho. Hay algo que está... Compi. Mira, tú escuchas eso, ¿verdad? No, yo estoy asustado ya, compi. Hay algo que lleva rato sonando allá adentro y de momento, ¡pam!, dieron un cantazo.
Te digo que tú eres de estos que son cobardes, que te imaginas cosas, bro.
No, chacho, yo no puedo imaginar eso, compi.
Entonces,
Ay, en el cuarto ese, que llevo rato escuchando cantar y pensaba que eras tú, y cuando yo vine a ver, tú estabas ahí tranquilo, recogiendo algunas cositas, y me, chacho, sentí como si me hubieran tocado. No, chacho, yo estoy que no puedo ni hablar.
peliculitas por la nochecita.
No, yo no veo películas de esas ya, compi. Vamos a ver, este, compi, en este. Escucha cómo suena. ¿Tú estás escuchando eso? Eso, yo creo que yo desde lejos, yo, si acaso. Sí, estoy temblando, compi, yo no sé qué vaya. Cuidado, compi, que si yo cojo algo estaba cogiendo, ¿tú sabes cómo es esto? No. Hija. Ah, pero qué caramba es eso. ¿Y cómo tienen esa muñeca así? Como si estuvieran mirando para abajo. Ay, bendito Dios, y sonando ya. Hola, me siento un calentón en este cuarto, compi, no me... Pero como sigue sonando solo. Oh, y se mueve y todo. Ay, compi, ¿no?
Eso a lo mejor fueron los que eran dueños por hacer la maldad o algo. Alguien vino a hacer la maldad, compi. Por eso tú no te puedes poner a darle 20 a eso, porque esos son boberías.
Sí, ¿no?
¿Ya te lo ves aquí?
¿Qué bajo ya? ¿Qué?
Aquí hay, mira, una computadora. Por eso hay que sacarlo, para botarlo.
Compi, ¿pero qué es eso, compi?
¿Ah?
Mira, compi se movió. Compi se está moviendo, compi, ¿oíste?
Oye, pero no será el viento.
No, si aquí no hay viento, compi.
Pero con un muñeco feo.
Mira para allá.
He called his coworker over. That coworker describes himself as a skeptic, and that's specifically why he was called. A second opinion from someone inclined toward skepticism is the correct move for someone trying to verify an unusual experience rather than confirm it. They moved together toward a closet in the room. Several dolls were inside. One hanging along the side began to shift. The two men tried to account for it. Air movement, an unstable mount, something in the environment. They were still reasoning when the doll jerked forward, towards them. That movement is a different category from a gradual shift, directed, sudden, aimed at the people standing there. Both men ran. One of them had called himself a skeptic when he walked in. What changed his mind? October 4th, 2015. A Ukrainian YouTube channel posted footage of the uploader walking around the exterior of Pyatytsy Castle in western Ukraine, a historic structure filmed from the outside for its own sake. The camera was on the architecture, not searching for anything in the windows. The castle was the subject, and what appeared in it was incidental to that. Watch.
Супер. Такое с архітектурою. Ніфіга собі. Андріана! Андріана!
At approximately the 15-second mark, a white figure appears in one of the upper windows, not by passing into view behind glass, not by a reflection engaging at a specific angle. It fades in. That gradual behavior is a different visual category. The figure doesn't enter or exit frame, it becomes visible within the frame and then stops being visible. Abrupt appearance and disappearance has available explanations. This doesn't behave that way. The videographer appears to notice it. They call out a name several times before the footage ends, which implies they saw something that registered as a person or a presence rather than something they dismissed. Pyatytsy Castle has a long association with local legends about the site. The most technically capable skeptic argument here is digital indicia via motion tracking. The technology exists to attach a visual element to a moving surface and make it appear naturally embedded in footage. The clip is short, which is the specific problem. A longer recording would typically produce the artifacts that motion tracking leaves behind. This one doesn't provide enough footage to detect them. Why did the videographer call out a name when they saw it? Subscribe and click a video on screen if you're not scared.